Hello, computer graphics students. YISS, the summer school. Now we are in third week and day 08. Topic: vector graphics using Adobe Illustrator. So another world famous application, AI, not artificial intelligence, okay? Adobe Illustrator. That's the file extension. So if you save your Illustrator file, whatever you did, it's going to be your file name, anything, .ai. So this is another world famous file format, but it's totally different from Photoshop file. Photoshop file, as you know, all .psd, Photoshop drawing, PSD, right? And these are some kind of proprietary file formats. This one from Photoshop, this one from Illustrator. By using those computer graphics software, even though they are totally different, this is raster, this is vector, right? Anyway, by using those computer graphics tools, we can extract or export. Export is sort of conventional term in this kind of computer tools. Exports JPG file, JPEG file, GIF file, or PNG file that I preferred file format. Anyway, this is very long-lasting mechanism. The file generation in the perspective of computer files, you are making your own JPEG, GIF animation or transparent background, PNG, high quality image, whatever it is, you can extract it from those two tools. World famous two tools. Anyway, Illustrator is the topic today. We assume that in this class, intro to the computer graphics, you are totally new to Adobe Illustrator. So we have quickly, simply walked through the difference between vector graphics and raster or bitmap graphics. Raster, bitmap, same, right? Raster images are pixel based, right? So one pixel has its color, amount of pixels, pixel groups going to displays a specific shape with colors, right? So if we take a look at the inside of the JPEG file defines this from the top left point, definition of the top left point 1 and next points, I mean this point, okay, this point, and third point here. So how many points we have? If we have 10 by 10, total 100 pixels. Really small size. This is even smaller than our computer icon files. Nowadays, we are using more than millions of pixels image, such as Full HD, Full HD, FHD, high definition. FHD file has 1920 by 1080p. P here means, of course, pixels. So millions, right? Millions of pixels data can be defined in this way. But in vector graphics actually the original version of this kind of thing, because at the beginning of the, I'm sorry, I off the face and you can see the screen. At the beginning of the computer graphics, computer scientists studied about vector graphics at first, because whenever you draw a line from any point to specific another point, this is the definition of the line, right? And the combination of this line can make any type of splines, curve lines, and so on. How about very smooth curve lines, something like this one, similar to sine graph, cosine graph, tangent graph, exactly same to the graphs in mathematics. So instead of storing pixel by pixel data, vector graphics includes definitions of geometry you made, okay? You draw on top of your file. So let's compare the file size in a nutshell. Which file format, which file has smaller size? We can easily assume that, of course, this kind of definition can be easier than this kind of Photoshop raster file format. Because what if we save this kind of line information by using JPEG file format? If this is the image and the pixel height 1000 and 500, something like that, entire pixel data supposed to be defined one by one. Even most of them are all white color, all day same, but it doesn't matter. It could be saved one by one pixels. It's kind of waste, right? But this part, the line part, going to be different. So anyway, their location precisely stored by this kind of pixel data information. But instead of making this kind of waste, vector graphics uses this smarter way. But nowadays, for some reason, this is kind of old-fashioned and conventional. Actually, I introduced this concept. Nowadays, we have amount of computer resources. We don't need to take care of how much computer memory is available for my graphics work. Or hard drive, solid state drive, even USB drive has several gigabytes in very, very cheaper price. That means storage size, file efficiency, or the problems because due to the file size, they are sort of outdated nowadays. We don't need to take care of such things anymore. That is why I mentioned before, bigger, larger raster images going to be convenient and easy to use compared to this kind of conventional vector graphics. But anyway, vector graphics still really important. This is the schedule we have. Take a look. I showed you last time this one. Our idea supposed to be drawn, or my term modeled in computational model, right? Which means, so far, how about Lightroom? It couldn't be get started with Scratch. It's supposed to be get started with a certain input image, input picture you took or downloaded, whatever, right? How about Photoshop? Actually, Photoshop has amount of similar functions in Adobe Illustrator, but we didn't deal with that part yet. Just text and some kind of photo editing features we have dealt with last time. But anyway, compared to Lightroom, Photoshop, something like this, image editing related raster images tools, AI, Illustrator has very, very different function from those image editors. What are they? It has drawing features, amount of powerful drawing features. Actually, Photoshop and some other raster image tools also, they have a lot of things. Think about your iPad and Apple Pencil. They are sort of hybrid image drawing tool generator, sometimes vector, sometimes raster images, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, conventionally, since 30, 40 years ago, Adobe Illustrator developed amount of very, very useful drawing tools. They invented and elaborated, developed so far. That is why this is sort of so-called world best, or sort of one of the legendary application in computer graphics. vector graphics. Okay, but in reality, we always use something user-friendly file formats such as JPEG file formats, or web-based interfaces, or smartphone apps, or presentation slidewares. We didn't use Illustrator or Photoshop, something computer graphics specific professional applications for our daily life. Instead, we use these user-friendly file formats, user-friendly platforms, user-friendly environments, and computer application software. Something like this screen, my PowerPoint slide. This PowerPoint has lots of hybrid and combination of vector, raster that take maximum advantages from such computer graphics tools. That is why the last week topic is going to be slideware. Usually in the conventional computer graphics tool, professors taught QuickExpress or Adobe InDesign as desktop publishing tool or something. Instead of such thing, in this introductory computer graphics course, I choose PowerPoint and easy to use animation maker, Spark, another Adobe web-based tool, something similar to the website-based application, so-called web app. No need to install any applications, but we can take advantages, powerful features, functions defined in this kind of app. Anyway, they are next week issue, but in this week, at the first day of the Adobe Illustrator, as a reminder, I bring this again. Difference between raster graphics and vector graphics, as well as image editors. I'm sorry. Image. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Image editors versus drawing tools. Okay. That's very fundamental yet salient difference between those two different software approaches. Let's take a look at this slide page. How about this one? This is simply say the category of this type of images are symbols or icons. Computer icons, that's another icon, but these are certain type of, this is another logo, Adidas logo and some logo looking images. But anyway, this kind of symbols are sort of very representative graphics output, easily generated by vector graphics tool. By using, at this time, we're gonna use Adobe Illustrator. So draw these things. Of course, even Photoshop can do any of these drawings. By using Photoshop, there are many useful brushes and drawing tools, color fill and some kind of selection, layer, editing tools, effects, filters. Actually, we didn't deal with some detail about that kind of drawing features in Photoshop because Photoshop has pros and cons. Of course, Illustrator has its pros and cons. So what we need to know is what's the major role, what's the major advantages when we are using Photoshop. Take maximum advantages from Photoshop. And same way, by using Adobe Illustrator, drawing this kind of vector graphics looking symbols and something icon like images easily converted into any type of applications, I mean design applications, visualization, graphics applications can be done, but their resource from scratch to something. That's exactly what we need to do by using Adobe Illustrator. when we have this kind of images, at that time we can make applications by using Photoshop or even slidewares such as PowerPoint that I mentioned before for the later part of the subject. So from nothing, from scratch to create something, Illustrator has really good features, functions, brushes for doing this job. That is why I brought this one for you. Anyway, all these are drawings. I like to let you know what's the pros of Illustrator, what's the pros of Photoshop, and then how to combine their pros so that we can take bigger advantages for doing our computer graphics or computer graphics design work, whatever, in our real life. Very pragmatic way, okay? Take a look, this one. This is today's lab exercise one. I'm gonna show you in the lab exercise video later. How about this one? Exactly same, but slightly different. How to make this one? Let me show you. Actually, this is the image made by Illustrator lab exercise, but this is another object I created by using PowerPoint here, this one. Like this one, I can easily draw and fill nothing, very thick, and the color is supposed to be similar color to this one. How about this one? It's vector graphics. Okay, this is another vector graphics. Even though I draw it by using PowerPoint, not Illustrator or Photoshop, whatever, this is vector format. Let me zoom in. Take a look. This image has some dithering, which means it's raster graphics, but this is PowerPoint generated. So this is sort of so-called hybrid way, combined way to maximize our computer graphics effect. 10 years ago, when we are dealing with this kind of computer graphics class or something, teaching PowerPoint sounds something ridiculous because PowerPoint or certain type of that kind of presentation tools, slidewares, they are not computer graphics tools. That's another belief or sort of myth in computer graphics domain. But nowadays, technologies, software evolving. Even this PowerPoint version is actually 2013, not the latest one. But this one has almost adequate and very powerful tools I need already. They provide us. So by using them, if we can make our own design portfolio or any of the computer graphics good results we want, what's the matter? Important context is we need to reach to our goal in efficient way and easy way, faster way, not the software or some kind of conventional mandatory software we have to use. There is no such things. That's my belief, and that's why we are dealing with this kind of applications and something very pragmatic approaches I build, and we are handling such things. Anyway, this is the exercise today. At the first run of this kind of vector graphics tool, they are sort of very easy to make, easy to draw objects in lab exercise. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Anyway, vector graphics aims to draw something from scratch. Actually, it's half correct and half wrong, because nowadays Illustrator has amount of Photoshop features, and Photoshop also has lots of vector graphics features. Even though we didn't handle such things, we focused on some image editing, layers, selections, effects things, filter things, and so on. But anyway, they are overlapped nowadays. Okay, so actually, in my personal perspective, I'm the man who are using Photoshop only. I can do anything by using only use Photoshop, even without Illustrator. But sometimes I use it when I draw something like this, or this kind of symbols, when I need to represent and make some kind of abstraction for my research or something. Anyway, let's get started for the exercise. Okay, seeing is believing, so hopefully you can enjoy Illustrator drawing for this one. These are my example. Your outputs can be totally different from this design or something, but at least you can make some applications from this very easy drawing model. Okay,